let us learn about the dipole antenna. So similar to monopole antenna, let us give the specification as 1 gigahertz. So lambda will be 300 millimeter. Now the radius of dipole, it must be 1/60th times of lambda by 2. So you will get around 2.5 millimeters. The length of the gap will be 4 times of radius of dipole because I am visualizing it as two poles, one in top direction and the other one in bottom direction. In between we need to excite the antenna, and here whatever the excitation you are giving, it will be the other pole will be acting as a ground plane for it. The remaining terms will remain same as that of monopole. So length of gap will be 4 times of radius of dipole. Then the length of dipole will be lambda by 4 minus L gap. So it is 75 millimeters minus 10 millimeters, which is 65 millimeters. So similar to previous case, here also I will be adding out a lambda by 4 value on the top side as well as on the bottom side. So airbox radius can be arc dipole plus lambda by 4, it will be 77.5 millimeters, and the height of airbox will be the gap plus 2 times of length of dipole because we are using two dipole lengths plus lambda by 4. So a total it will come to 215 millimeters. So now let us go on to the software. So usually the experiments will be designed in such a manner that you are going to utilize as many options of the software as possible. So here also we will be going to use a new option which is available built in within the software to enable easy design of dipole structures. Not only dipoles, it can be of any array type structures. So that will be coming in edit option. So as usual in the software design, we have to perform 4 steps. Like first we need to create the 3D model. Next we need to assign the boundaries as well as excitations. And here while creating the 3D model itself, we will be assigning the materials because materials will play an important role in developing the actual result. Then following to that, boundaries and excitation. After that you will have the analysis, then finally the results and tabulation. The results and tabulation, the measurements will be quite similar to that of monopole. So let us look into the 3D model. So first click on insert HFSS design. You will get a 3D workspace like this. So as we have considered it to be a cylinder, let us draw the cylinder somewhere. It need not be always aligned. You can change it. I am renaming it as dipole and I am giving this as PEC because I want it to be a perfect electric conductor. Assign some other color, then some transparency level which you are comfortable. Now click on create cylinder. So the dimensions will be like 005, so 0 comma 0 comma 5 millimeters. Then the radius will be 2.5 millimeters, height will be 65 millimeters. Then give OK. Now press Ctrl D. If you decrease the zoom, you can see a pole is lying along the positive Z axis. Now click on dipole, right click, go to edit. Here you have an option called duplicate. So now we are duplicating around the axis because I want to see one in positive Z direction, one in negative Z direction, so that the one in negative Z direction can act as a ground plane. So you look at here, dipole, edit, duplicate, then around axis. Now here by default it will be Z axis with 90 degrees. Here change it to 180 degrees and keep around X axis. Then give OK. Now if I press Ctrl D, you can see one is aligned along positive z, the other one, dipole 1, is aligned along negative z axis. So this is how the dipole is created. Now let us give an option to create the rectangle, so that I consider it as gap for giving the excitation. Then take some other color, assign some transparency level. Now go to create rectangle. Here the positions will be 0, minus 2.5, minus 5, because previously, if you remember, the position I had taken shifted above the xy plane by 5 millimeters. Then the exercise, change the axis to x so that it gets aligned here. Again click it here, change y size to 5 millimeters and z size to 10 millimeters. So now you can see it has fixed exactly onto the diameter of both the dipoles. Then one more cylinder we need. Click somewhere, rename it as air box. If you want to rename it as 2 words, use underscore in between. Give the material as air. Give OK. Assign some other color as well as some transparency level. Now click on create cylinder. Here the position will be 0, 0, minus 107.5 millimeters. The radius will be 77.5 millimeter and height will be 215 millimeter as we have devised previously. Now press Ctrl D. Once I click it, you can visualize the dipole as such what we have designed previously. So now the next condition will be assigning the boundaries. Right click on air box, assign boundary, give radiation. Then again you have unassigned sheet. So here I have to first use the display, remove all other dipole as well as air box. Now press Ctrl D. You can see the gap being kept as a rectangle. Select it, right click, assign excitation, go to lumped port. Here, suppose if I want to see the mismatch, I can keep it as 50 ohms. Suppose if I don't want to see any mismatches, or only a few small amount of mismatch can be allowed, then change the resistance value to 75 ohms. Then click next, then new line, and from bottom to top give it, then define. Once it is defined, click next and click on do not renormalize. Here the option of 75 ohm is chosen because we know the radiation resistance of dipole is 73 ohms. Then click finish. Again go to visualization, you bring back all the components, press Ctrl D. Again go to HFSS. Now you have to see one boundary, one excitation. Now add solution setup to be 1 gigahertz and let us keep the maximum delta size S as 0.02 so that it can optimize the resources. Then go to setup, right click, add frequency sweep. Let us take it as 0.5 gigahertz to 1.5 gigahertz and the step size be 0.1 gigahertz. So once you are done with that, go to radiation, insert far field setup, infinite sphere. So similar to previous case, here also I am changing theta to 360 degrees and initially giving it as OK. Now let us validate it. All are green ticks, then it means it is perfect. Suppose if any red tick is coming, then you need to check out what was the mistake. Any mistakes are there will be shown here in the message manager window. So you need to understand what is the actual problem there, or else you have to work out from the starting. Go to analyze all. So this is dipole. So 21 10, 21. Save it. Once you save it, it will start to execute. So now we have completed 3 steps. One is devising the component, then assigning materials, after that boundary and excitation, then assigning the analysis, means directing the simulator to work at a particular resonant frequency or operating frequency for some band of frequencies, so that it can interpolatively generate the result in order to satisfy the Maxwell's equations by using full wave FEM method, that is finite element method. So here our expectation will be like, it must be like a donut shaped, so that it remains a omnidirectional radiation pattern. So here you can see the solution has come to normal completion of simulation. Then let us go to results, HFSS results, far field report, 3D polar plot. So by default it will be in radial component of electric field. Click on new report. Close it. You can see this is actually a donut shape, which was actually considered to be the correct radiation pattern for dipole antenna. You can zoom in, you can see along the theta it has got a minimum, along phi direction it has got maximum. So this will be more clear when we are seeing a two-dimensional radiation pattern. So go to HFSS results, create far field report, radiation pattern. Now here once you click for theta, again change it to phi, again click new report. So now you can see the H-plane pattern, it is like a circles. Now you have to take the edge values for different angles and you have to note down in the observation. So here the values will be there. You can take approximately. You can take for the entire circle. It must be for the maximum. Similar way here also. Go to marker, add marker, check out at various angles. Similar to previous case. So you can see it is a pattern of 8. Of course, a sleeping 8. Means it is directional for the electric field pattern and isotropic for H-plane pattern. So it is called as omnidirectional radiation pattern. So once you complete this entire circle, we can get to know what is the actual beam width. So here you can see 10.3619. Let us go to calculator. (10.3619) divided by 1.414, it is 7.32. So wherever 7.32 is there, it is 50. Again you can see at 7.32, it is 130. So 50, in between 50 and 130 is the actual beam width. So from 50 to 130, it is actually 80 degrees. So that will represent the beam width. So this is how the readings has to be taken. Now let us look into the other aspects. That is, go to HFSS, results, create model solution data report, rectangular plot. So S parameter for return loss, close it, go to marker, add marker, click it. So it is minus 24.28. So 24.28 divided by 1.414, it is 17.17. So somewhere here you will get. So along the x-axis you can have approximately this. So the subtraction of these two values will be giving rise to the band of frequencies over which it is able to perform better. So you can go to marker, you can add a X marker, move it till M2. Move it up to 17.21. Again go to add X marker. Now again you move it till M3. Okay. So the difference between these two will be 0.09 gigahertz. You can select M4, you can delete it because it is the same value. So you can see it is 0.09 gigahertz is the return loss bandwidth. Similar way, go to HFSS, results, model solution data report, rectangular plot, go to VSWR, create new report, then close it. Now exactly at 1 gigahertz, you add the marker, you can see it is 0.13 now. So 1.13 is an acceptable value and it is very close to 1. So it is a better design. Now go to HFSS, results, create model solution data report, 3D polar plot. Far field report, then 3D polar plot. Gain, check in decibels. So it is 2.5967. So if you remember, it will be 2.61 theoretically. So it is very close nearby because we have given it to be 75 ohms. Now your option will be like to verify if you are keeping only 50 ohms, how the values will be changing. Similar way you can use it for directivity also. So here it is 2.5968. So now you have the opportunity to explore the other features or characteristics of the antenna. So let us see how the fields are actually distributed. So go to HFSS. Here select a dipole as well as dipole 1. Now right click, plot fields, electric field as a vector. So you can see the radiation part, it is happening very minor value towards the middle only. Then similar way, click on both plot fields, go to magnetic field, click as vector field only. So you can see the variation. Similar way, the maximum current density, surface current. So vector J surface, give done. You can see the current density here. So this is how you can able to see the options for the dipole. Hope you would have understood. Thank you one and all.